For this PowerPoint presentation, we're going to be talking about the different factors that will affect the skin color. So let's get started. Melanin, hemoglobin, and keratin are three pigments that are going to be responsible for a wide variety of skin colors. So let's discuss them in the next few slides. Melanin is the group of pigments primarily responsible for skin, hair, and eye color. The amount of melanin causes the skin's color to vary from either pale yellow to reddish brown to black. The difference between the two forms of melanin, which are pheomelanin, that goes from yellow to red, and eumelanin, that goes from brown to black, is most apparent in the hair. Melanin is going to be produced by melanocytes, which are the cells that we have talked about. They are the ones that are going to be irregularly shaped, as we can see here in this image, with many long processes or projections that extend between the keratinocytes of the stratum basale and the stratum spinosum. The image shows melanin produced by the melanocytes that is then transferred to the keratinocytes by phagocytosis, and it's going to result in a relatively constant skin tone across the body. Melanocytes are most abundant in the epidermis of the penis, the nipples, the axilla, the areola, which is the area just around the nipples, the face, and the elbows. Other areas of the body, such as the lips, the palms of the hands, and soles of feet, they contain less melanin. Melanin also provides protection against ultraviolet light from the sun, which we have talked already a little about this. However, we will discuss this in more details in the last learning outcome, which is learning outcome number 9. Melanin production involves this enzymatic modification of an amino acid, which is tyrosine, to an intermediate form. This intermediate may be modified in different ways, producing pigments that can be brown, black, yellow, or red. The types of melanin produced are going to be determined by genetic factors, and the degree to which melanin is produced is going to be influenced by the exposure to light and hormones. The number of melanocytes in the skin is relatively the same for all humans, regardless of race. Racial variations in the skin color are going to be determined by several major factors. First, the types of melanin produced. Again, if it's the pheomelanin, it's going to range from yellow to red. If it's eumelanin, it will range from brown to black. Also, the amount of melanin produced, the size of the melanosomes, which are these melanin-filled vesicles in the cells, the number of the melanosomes, and the distribution of the melanosomes. This distribution is mainly going to be influenced by how far the melanocytes' projection reach. In light-skinned individuals, the melanocytes reach the stratum spinosum. However, in darker-skinned individuals, it goes as far as the stratum granulosum, but the cell bodies will always be located in the stratum basale. In some people, melanin accumulates in patches called freckles. There are two types of freckles. We have the ephelides, which are light freckles, and the lentigines, which are dark or sunburned freckles. The light freckles are most often found on light-skinned individuals, and they appear to be an inherited trait. The dark or sunburned freckles are darker than common freckles, and they arise because of exposure to the sun. As a person gets older, the age spots or liver spots may develop. These flat blemishes, which are a form of dark freckles, they look like freckles and range in color from light to brown to black. Like freckles, age spots are going to be an accumulation of melanin. A round, flat, or raised area that usually develops in childhood or adolescence and represents a benign, localized overgrowth of melanocyte is called a nevus or a mole. Also in blackheads, the dark-colored material that's inside the blackhead is sometimes mistaken for dirt, but it is actually melanin from disintegrated cells. Certain conditions may cause increases in melanin production and therefore changes in pigmentation in areas of the body. And during pregnancy, certain hormones such as estrogen and melanocyte stimulating hormone causes the mother's body to increase melanin production, which causes darkening of the nipples, the areola, and the genitalia. The cheekbones, foreheads, and chest may also be darkened, resulting in this mask of pregnancy seen in this image. In addition, a dark line of pigmentation may appear on the midline of the abdomen. In addition, diseases that cause increased secretion of a hormone that's called adrenocorticotropic and melanocyte stimulating hormone, such as Addison's disease, also cause increased pigmentation. Although many genes are responsible for skin color, a single mutation can prevent the manufacture of melanin. Albinism is usually a recessive genetic trait that will result from an inability to produce tyrosinase. Tyrosinase is going to be the enzyme that contains copper, which is widely distributed in microorganisms, animals, and plants. This enzyme is actually going to be the one that catalyzes the first two steps of melanin biosynthesis. Therefore, if there is a loss of this enzyme, it will prevent melanin synthesis, which leads to this disease known as albinism. The result is going to be a deficiency or an absence of pigment in the skin, the hair, and the irises of the eyes, which is the colored part of the eye. However, the melanocytes are still intact, alive. So there's no change in the number of melanocytes, but there's a change in the melanin that's being produced by the melanocytes. In contrast, vitiligo is the development of patches of white skin where melanocytes are going to be destroyed. And scientists are not sure of the cause, but apparently it's by an autoimmune response, which is genetically susceptible to individuals. In people with vitiligo, certain environmental factors may also induce stress responses in the skin that will trigger new lesions or even the expansion of existing lesions. Triggers may include sunburn, chemical exposure, physical skin trauma, or even psychological stress. In most cases, the specific trigger is really unknown. So every time that they think that it's unknown, they usually blame genetics or environmental factors. But about 25 to 50% of people with vitiligo, they're going to have a relative in their extended family with this disease, and about 6% have siblings with the disease, suggesting that there really is a genetic component. Carotene is a yellow-orange pigment that gives egg yolk and carrots their color. This precursor of vitamin A, which is used to synthesize pigments needed for vision, is stored in the stratum corneum and also in the fatty areas of the dermis and the subcutaneous layer in response to an excessive dietary intake. Too much carotene may be deposited in the skin after eating large amounts of keratin-rich foods so that the skin actually turns orange, which is especially apparent in individuals that are light-skinned. How to get rid of this problem? Well, just decrease the keratin intake. It's simple as that. The last pigment we're going to be talking about is hemoglobin. The red color in the red blood cells is due to hemoglobin, which is this oxygen-carrying pigment that can vary a little bit in color depending if it's present in dark-skinned individuals or if it's present in light-skinned individuals. So if it's present in dark-skinned individuals, it can range from yellow to reddish brown, and if it's present in light-skinned individuals, it will range from pink to red. Here we have an image of a light-skinned individual that did a lot of exercise, therefore they need more oxygen circulating in their body, and therefore you can see how the skin is starting to become reddish because of an increase in the amount of hemoglobin that's circulating in the body.